아, 힘들어. 안녕하십니까. 좋은 밤입니다. 자, 다들 저녁은 맛있게 드셨습니까? 오늘 좋은 하루 보내셨습니까? 시그링님 빵하, 안빵빵하. 오늘의 할 게임은 슬레이더 프린세스 공주를 구하라. 이 게임은 조금 잔인하다고 해요. 그래서 제가 오늘은 19금을 걸었습니다. 잠시만요. 일장만 높일까? 10? 이 정도? 부금 어떤가요? 괜찮은가요? 아직 들리지 않을 것 같긴 한데 말이죠. 매력님 빵아 어서오세요. 일단은 오늘의 게임 시작해보도록 하겠습니다. 용사와 공주.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin.
부금 괜찮아요? 좀 소리 작아요? 안 들려?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
당신은 공주를 처치해야 합니다. 구하는 게 아니라 죽여야 돼? 탐색, 세상에 정말 무슨 소리를 하는 거야? 공주를 가둬놓는 바람에 공주가 세상을 끝장내고 싶어진 걸 수도 있잖아? 공주를 죽이는 건 나쁜 짓 같은데 안 그래? 다른 사람 시키면 안 돼? 됐어, 안 할래? 내가 세상에 끝장나도 괜찮다고 하면? 내 말대로 하면 보상이라도 주나? 아, 그래, 어떻게 해야 하는지 알려줘서 고마워. 근데 난 항상 군주제를 타도하고 싶어서 혁명이야, 영원하라. 왜 이렇게? 이거 선택지가 맞나봐. 약간 공주미연신가? 이거 하면 어떻게 되지?
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and Do you even...
어떻게 되지?
I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
시작하자마자 끝나는 것처럼?
Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to
괜히
take part
엮이지
in it.
말고 손을 떼는 게
Ignore that
낫겠어.
annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
답정넌데?
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies.
알바?
Your silence is deafening.
어떻게
But
될까?
fine. You turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again.
미친 거 아니야?
I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess. There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much
굳은 의지로
everyone
한번
who's
끝까지
ever
반대로
lived, as well as
가보겠습니다.
for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you
뭐야?
focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
무한확장 오두막이다.
Wait.
개쩐다.
What's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
정답.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters because it isn't long
머지않아
before the
세상이
world
끝나고
ends
모두가
and
죽게 될
everyone
테니까요.
dies.
이대로 진짜 넘어가는 거야?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin, you're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
어쩐지 끔찍한 기시감이 드는데 잠깐만 이거 이미 일어났던 일 아니야? 거절하겠어. 농담이 아니고 나 저번에는 공주가 진짜로 세상을 멸망시킨 거야. 맞지? 정체가 뭐지? 이 나쁜 자식 넌 이제 끝장이다. 내 속임수는 다 알고 있어. 하지만 나는 죽었는걸. 온 세상이 망했었다고? 내가 여기서 뭐 하는 거지? 저런 벽은 전혀 없었는데 오두막에 가라고 강요하는 건 좀 아니지. 그래 알겠어. 슬슬 오두막으로 가서 공주를 처치해야겠네. 알겠습니다. 가면 되잖아. 어제 이거
Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience. The entire world ending wasn't enough to get rid of us. I don't think there's much he can do other than object. I wonder what else we can do to ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky.
지금 확실한 건 우리가 운이 좋았던
The world
것뿐이니까.
hasn't ended yet. And you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
이거 거짓말.
You know
거짓말
I can
해봐야지.
tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you.
Please take seriously. 예.
A warning before you go any further.
뭐야? 진짜 엄청나게 벽 쳐졌는데 이거 그거 아니야? 진격의 거인?
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
맞아. 사람이 마음을 곱게 써야지.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
이제 이거 칼을 가져가냐 마냐가 또 걸렸군요.
No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise?
잠깐만요. 딱 안 맞는 것 같아서. 좋아.
You can't just say that, when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action save the entire
공주를
world.
처치함으로써 세상을 구원하는 일말입니다.
And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful
정신을
geometry
다잡고
and stay
마음을 다스리고
calm.
돌격.
How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay. Okay, I'm fine.
오케이, I'm bye.
Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very
자,
Ooh, we should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun?
주인님 안녕하세요, 빵아.
You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
이 뻔뻔한 것, 이 뻔뻔한 것.
You insisting it isn't
뻔뻔한
there
것.
just makes me want to look at it even more. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
버덕버덕.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
나 수인이야? 개쩐다.
But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
오. 자, 여기서 갈립니다. 칼을 챙길까요? 칼을 안 챙기고 갈까요? 칼을 챙긴다? 칼을 안 챙긴다. 그냥 가보겠습니다, 그러면. 칼 없이. 오케이, let's go.
The door to the basement
Wow.
creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your
럭장님
surroundings,
어서
the
오세요,
more confused
빠가.
you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone the air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like
찐득한
miasma to it.
도끼.
The kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want
Baby.
to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like what? We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success, there'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
자, 왼쪽, 가운데, 오른쪽. 왼쪽, 가운데, 오른쪽. 직진.
You step onto the center staircase. Paths wind out around you in all directions, each step branching into its own staircases, which branch into their own staircases, and so on. You aren't quite sure if yours is taking you up or down, but at the very least, it's taking you somewhere.
확실한 건 뭐냐? 여기서 있으면은 최고의 다이어트. 천국의 계단 필요 없어요.
You concentrate on where you are, careful not to stray onto any of the many
헬스장 안
splitting
가도 돼.
branches that tempt you on all sides. You wouldn't want to have to
무한
backtrack to
확장
yours once you've
천국의
made a
계단.
decision that took you someplace else. And so you take one
개쩐다.
careful, focused step after another. One foot down, another foot down, another after that. You lose yourself in following the correct pattern, in following what looks to be the true path, the one that cuts. But no matter the direction it goes, it certainly is the most true path. You know that much. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go.
당신은 서서히 자기 자신의 이름을 나아갑니다.
Time disappears.
시간 개념이
You
사라지고
can feel
존재가
yourself
해체되는
begin to
기분이
untether.
듭니다. 이거 뭐 그거야?
Physical sensations dull and then vanish.
이거 무슨
The
전생 체험
only things
같은데?
experienced are the endless repeating
오래전에
patterns
잊지
and
목적지로
emotions of the
끊임없이
journey.
나아갑니다.
A continuous march of consumption and betrayal, skepticism and
소실과
blind
배신,
devotion,
회의와 맹목적인
rivalry
의식,
and
경쟁과
submission,
복종,
terror
공포와
and
그리움,
longing,
공포와
pain
고통과
and
낯섦.
unfamiliarity.
그리고 그 모든 것의 중심에는 한 감정이 있습니다. 이 감정을
An
표현할 수
emotion
있는
that
단
can
하나
only be
바로
Can I help you?
안녕하세요?
What the hell was that? What happened? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs.
당신은 전생에 금색의 밀밭?
Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember.
뭐야?
Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
미안해, 여기 온 줄도 몰랐어. 당신은 이름이 뭐야? 여기 내려오는 건 이상했어. 마구잡이로 찢어졌다가 다시 합쳐진 기분이랄까. 내가 무슨 일이 있었던 건지 알아? 당신이 이유가 있어서 여기 갇혔다는 것밖에 혹시 내가 여기에 온 이유를 알아? 당신은 세상을 위협하는 존재야. 난 당신을 처치하러 온 거고. 깡.
I don't have any weapons, and I'm chained to a wall. Do I look like someone that could end the world? Do I look like a monster?
깜짝이야.
Everything you've heard about me is true, and I'm going to lay waste to everything, starting with you.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back?
예쁜 여자가 둘? 완전 좋아.
You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them, if it's not already too late. Ooh, new plan! Let's see if we can make even more of her.
오, 수가 또 늘어났네. 당신의 이름이 뭐야? 여기 내려오는 건 이상해서 마부작기로 찢어졌다가 어떻게 수가 또
There
늘어났네.
must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago. It must be fear creeping into your heart.
You know you
두려움이 내
can't
마음에
stop me.
스며드는 거지. 날 막을 수 없다는 걸 내심하니까.
And what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin?
그래서 그게 대체 무슨 뜻인데 제 화를 돋우려는 건가요?
She fractures again. I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start? We could always start by retrieving the blade. Can we even leave this place? I don't like thinking about what might happen to us if we have to go back through. Well, that's where the blade is. If you want it, you'll have to go and get it. I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
Princess.
프린세스.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness or Her
Your
Majesty.
Highness.
Any honorific should do, really. No, I don't need a name.
My name is whatever hushed whispers follow in the
내가
wake of
단기
my
공간 파괴에
devastation.
자치에 속삭여지는 소리가 곧 이름이 될 테니까.
None of them have names. How astute. I told you she was untrustworthy.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. I just
그렇지.
want to live my life. I'm not going to dance for you. Besides,
You already know what I'm going to do.
Not a single real answer. At least aside from Miss Blood and Destruction, it's
무한학장
infuriating, isn't
공주님.
it? Whose buttons are there for us to press?
공주님 여러 명
Skin is
늘려서
there for us to
NCT
get
프린세스를 만들어.
Not exactly how I'd put it, but I don't disagree. There must be something we can do. Asking questions just seems to make things worse. Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her, can we? What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers? Can't even follow what's going on anymore. We need to get out of here. This whole place is making me itch.
되게 말 많네. 이거 선택지가 이거 뭉땡구리잖아. 아니 이걸 내야지 뭐.
That's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... We can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I
뭐야?
don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating.
와 아이콘이 칼 찌른 것처럼 변했어.
Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
그렇네.
what happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Fix us?
안 될 것
We
같은데?
should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
Free? 괜찮을 거야. 최선을 다하지. 당신을 고치면 안 될 것 같은데. 아니, 당신은 모든 걸 파괴해서 고쳐줄 생각하는 건 없어. 코카콜라 맛있다 맛있으면 먹어도 먹으면 배탈나 딩동댕동 척척 박사님 알아맞혀 보세요 딩동댕동. 뭐? 하지만 공주가 자신의 대답을 들을 기회가 있었는지는 알 길이었다. 공주는 사라졌고 다른 무언가로 대체되었다.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
너는 그러고도 용사의 기계가 안 돼 있어?
Don't do that. I'm begging you, don't do this.
무시. 앞으로 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내려왔는데 그들은 사라졌지만 거울은 남아있다. 이제 거울 안에 무엇이 있는지 확인할 차례다. 나. It's you. 당신은 평빈 공간에 홀로 있다. 이곳은 적막이 흐른다. 당신은 오두막에 있다.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
뭐야?
I am solitary lights in an empty city.
나는 텅빈 도시의 고독한 불빛이야. 당신은 뭐지? 고독한 불빛? 그게 무슨 뜻이야?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
내가 뭐라고
I
생각해?
think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks. How can the world have ended if we are talking?
그치?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is
지금
vacant.
우리가 있는 이 공간은
Nothing
비어 있어.
comes
우리
here
외에는
but
아무것도
us.
없지 않아.
I know only that they are.
되게 철학적이네.
She is part of me, and part of me is her. You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends? Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit. But
이
this
그릇은
vessel is a
지각의
creature of
피조물이야. 공주는
perception.
당신이 있게 할 수
She can
있어.
make you
공주에게
forget.
그런 힘이 있다고
If
당신이
only you
믿어준다면
believe her to be
말이지.
able to. Bring me more perspectives,
내가 완전해질
so
수
that I may
있도록
be
더욱
whole.
많은 관점을
And
가져와.
perhaps then we will know
그럼
our
우리의
freedom.
자유를 찾을 수 있지 않을까?
She asks
뭐든
that I tell you to
해보겠습니다.
remember her. You won't.
그럴 수 없을 거야? 당신은 죽었습니다. 아, 이런 식으로 엔딩을 여러 가지 볼 수 있게 하는군요.
You're on a path. You're here to
자,
slay her.
진정한 슬레이 프린세스의
don't.
시작.
It will be the end.
오도리님 방아 어서 오세요. 온적이 있는 대화는 키보드의 탭키, 컨트롤 R 버튼을 눌러 건너뛸 수 있습니다. 일단 순서대로 해보겠습니다.
Don't. Look, you're. While I am. Nevertheless, and before causality, it's no unless. Then I guess we'll then eat. So sure, go, talk to her. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
화이팅! 갑니다.
The interior of the cabin is almost
아까 거울
entirely
있었는데
bare.
지금 없네.
The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are. The blade is your implement.
칼 챙긴다.
You take the blade from
갑니다.
the table.
가자.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice
Who's there?
She
What's
sounds
there?
dangerous. Don't let it fool you.
안녕.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on
사람은
the
외관만
task at
보고
hand.
판단하면 안 돼.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
자. 자, 말도 안 돼. 왜 그렇게 생각하는 거야? 좋아, 들켰네. 난 너를 죽이러 여기 온 거야. 아니야, 아직 결정하지 못해서 난 그저 대화를 하러 온 것뿐이야. 앞으로 나갑니다.
Your grip on the blade tightening as
강한
you steel
빵은
your
물러서지
resolve.
않습니다.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
처치하러 가봅니다.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation.
아샤.
You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already
Ew.
sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder. Do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
혹시 뭐 목숨이 여러 개신가요?
It's like she's convinced she can't die.
Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
아닐 것 같아. 이거. 당연하지.
Yes, exactly. It's over.
하지만 한번
With your
여러
work done,
카테고리로
you make your way
해보겠습니다.
back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
떠난다.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom.
Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
광활한 공업뿐입니다.
Happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here.
모두가
This is
행복합니다.
good.
그러니
Everyone is
당신도
happy.
행복할 겁니다.
You-
아,
So
알았어.
glad you're keeping an open mind. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
오케이.
Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years
아,
or
네,
even
알겠습니다.
decades. It's all a wonderful,
감사합니다.
boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst.
We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
어,
I do, but you're probably not going to like
여기
it.
계속 살아야 돼. 컨텐츠 없는데.
Blade. We can use the blade to get out of this. I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right.
오,
It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take.
뭐지?
Don't you dare.
이 지옥을 벗어나기 위해서라면
Thank
무엇이든지.
you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs.
아,
The
일
princess's body is dust and
수고하세요.
bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
오, 오, 에피소드가 다 달라지네. 어떻게
You're
하느냐에
on a
따라서요.
path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is you're here to slay her. My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met
이
for the first
뻔뻔한
time.
것.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or if you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Oh, we listened to you plenty. We slew the princess just like you asked us to, and then you locked us away in an empty void for... Well, if you killed yourself, then you weren't listening to me, because I would never want you to do
있거나 말거나
that.
전 여러분을
Believe it
아끼고
or not,
있습니다.
I care about you. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's
무엇을
the
하든
point of
그게
doing
무슨
anything?
의미냐?
If you're asking that, it sounds
그런
to me like
질문을
you're making a
하셨다는
rather
건
dangerous assumption.
어떠한
that your
결과도
actions
가져오지
last time
못했다는
around
위험한
didn't have
가정을
any
하고 계신 걸로
consequences.
사료되는군요.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We slew the princess, the world
죽고
outside
나서야
the cabin
모두가
disappeared,
원점으로
we died,
돌아왔지.
and now everyone's right back. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened
당신이
to everyone
공주를
in the
처치하는 데
place you left?
실패했다면 당신이 떠나온 세상의 사람들에게는 무슨 일이
It
생겼을까요?
doesn't matter because we didn't fail to slay her.
맞아.
And if she's really back, which I doubt, it'll be just as easy to do it again. But after that nasty trick you pulled on us, just stay focused, will you? Just be
공주에
quick
대해
about it.
얘기해보자. 오히려 내가 공주를 죽인 다음에 세상이 망해버렸어. 오두막을 나가려고 하니까 모든 게
That's a good
사라졌다고?
point. How do we know we didn't have things backwards? Maybe slaying the princess was what ended the world, not the other way round. Yes, maybe this whole thing was a trick to get us to end the world. And now we get to go through the whole charade again, wholly aware of what's waiting for us at the end. But that's assuming she's alive in that cabin. We did kill her. You're going to find her in the cabin. If the princess had actually been slain, you wouldn't be here.
공주가 정말 죽었다면 당신은 여기 있지 않았을 겁니다.
Let me assure you, killing her will
공주를
not
죽여서 세상이
end the
멸망하는 게
world.
아닙니다.
I don't know what you think happened to you last time, but it's a load of
이거
nonsense.
정말
You'll get your happy
악마가
ending.
사람을
I
현혹하는 소리
promise.
같아요. 그럼 말도 안 되는
Well, that's
소리지.
exactly. Really? Living happily ever after sounds that bad to you? Oh well, there's no use arguing over your masochism. The cabin awaits.
Here we go.
She just can. You'll have to trust that what I'm saying is people locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special.
You're
the
special.
only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps. Oh, I didn't know we were special.
Of course we're special.
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail will just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult.
This is boring.
This is
He's clearly
boring.
not interested in talking. So let's...
뭐 이제 됐어.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole...
오케이 가자. 가자. 가자.
Oh, she will lie.
She won't be a...
가자. 가자. 가자.
The interior of the cabin is cold. A soft odor. The blade. It feels like I've... Very different.
뭔가 좀 이뻐진 것 같은?
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. So focus up.
지하실로 들어간다.
The door to the
Oh.
basement groans open.
뭔가 인테리어가
revealing
달라졌는데?
the room below. Nobody's here. As much as I appreciate... I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final
죽어
step,
있는데?
the form of the princess comes into view.
Okay. She's definitely dead.
It's just like I told.
Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of her head appears from underneath the floor.
Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a
예쁘다.
mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head.
근데 죽었으면 날아가야
This isn't
되지
right.
않아?
What's going on here?
뭐 그거야? 지방령?
Ghost!
Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. We could probably grab her and kill her again, if we wanted to. We don't even...
Before she can suspect a thing, you lunge forward and grab her arm.
안
You
잡히겠지.
feel substance for the briefest of
유력이니까.
moments, but then you feel nothing at all.
You're adorable when you're confused.
But I didn't say you could touch me.
Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job, or what?
다시 다시 얘기하게 될 줄 알았으면 죽이지도 않았을 거야? 나도 죽어봤는데 너처럼 유령에 대해 둥둥 떠다니지 않았어. 무슨 일이 있었던 거야? 왜 나만 다른 거지? 왜 너는 다른 거야? 피해자 형제는 지나 저번에 날 위협한 게 누군데? 뭐 이렇게 많아? 일단 다
And if
해봅니다.
I knew you were going to murder me without even knowing who I was, I wouldn't
We all make mistakes.
크기네.
You don't look dead.
죽은 사람 차 안 보이네요.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead either.
She lets go and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are, or how you are.
그보단 당신의
and a lot
정치에
more
흥미가
interested in what you
통하는군요.
are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me,
아 그래?
I explored
아우
every
지방령이
inch of
됐구나.
this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I just wanted to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all,
Absolutely. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little
그래요?
anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it?
Now, isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him.
You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
then I won't hitch a ride.
이 목숨을 어떻게는 안 한다는구나.
I'm sure you'd like to know. It's a shame I won't tell you. But it'll be easier for both of us if you just let me in. And
Maybe for her, but it's crowded enough in here as is.
you won't have to feel guilty anymore.
더 이상 죄책감에 시달리지 않아도 돼요. 느낀 적이 있다면 말이죠.
It could be the best way to trap her for good. Doesn't seem like it would be very easy to end the world from inside some.
That is a very dangerous.
If I'm able to. But for all we know, that's not how it works.
오,
Maybe I'll wind up stuck with you for a long...
Do you hear the way she said that? She knows more than she's letting on. Don't let her fool you into doing something you'll regret.
Sure, why not?
That doesn't sound very reassuring. I can't believe you're even entertaining her right now. I mean, just look at her. Do you think she has good intentions for her murderer's body?
And what? You just believed that? You killed me without giving it any thought? That's cold.
That's rich coming from her. Every time she touches us, it's like we freeze over.
She's right, though, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. What we do from this point forward is all that matters. Let's...
I don't know. I just wanted to leave. I still just want to leave. The only thing I've ever wanted was to leave this place. It's still the only thing I want.
It does. We're not asking you. We've heard your whole speech already.
I really don't know. I'm not lying to you. I promise. The world doesn't matter.
제가 기억하는 건 거기 있어야 한다는 것밖에 없어요.
There, not here. I'm just supposed to be a part of it. It's but what does it mean for anything to end? I ended, but I also didn't. And you ended too. But here you are. And you don't even look any different.
오,
I'm not so sure endings are real. I don't know. Maybe I'll just fade away. Finally able to rest once I'm free from my unfinished business. Maybe I'll find someone to haunt. Maybe I'll haunt you.
오,
It's a tough question, asking someone what she's going to do with her life.
The princess leans in close and pauses, the frigid air between you stale and unmoved.
Especially when it's someone
She pulls back with a playful giggle.
I don't think most living people could answer that either. Does anyone actually know who they are or what they want?
아, 어떻게 하지? 니피디님 어서오세요, 빵아. 벽을 통과할 수 있지
I
않나?
wish that's how it worked. But this
네,
place won't
접니다.
let me go.
예. 오늘 게임은 좀 공포 게임 치고는 좀 잔잔해요. 스크립트가 너무 많아요. 후하하하.
We could always try violence. It's worked for us so far.
She's a ghost.
Who says ghosts are immune?
Common sense?
There's nothing common or sensible about
중요한 건
common
행위와
sense.
관찰이다.
Fine. then let me observe that the acts of
I suppose you have a point.
I don't know. Maybe we do what she wants.
We could.
Absolutely not. If you walk her...
Is that real?
Yes.
But those are the only options.
어떻게 하지?
You poor thing. That must have been so frightening for you.
You know, after everything we've been through, it's nice to see someone finally sympathising with us. This whole thing's been an ordeal, hasn't it?
She doesn't mean
It serves you right.
당해도 할 말은 없지.
I was pretty scared too. When you stood there not saying a word with a knife clenched in your fist. But now you know how bad it hurts to get stabbed in the chest.
It sounds like you got exactly
직접 싸우던 거를 그대로 돌려받은 거지.
Oh, is that how
어떻게
it
해
is?
이제?
That's sad. I guess we'll have to fight then.
The princess passes through you, a chill rippling
파문?
along your skin, a disappointed sigh echoing in your
공주는
ears.
파문
You
전세였습니다.
turn and face her as she hovers between you and the stairs. Spectral tears streak down her cheeks as she places a translucent hand on your chest. Are we doing the right thing?
Why do I feel so sad? Don't let her get to you. It doesn't matter. Somehow, soon, this too will be over, and we'll move on to something new. I feel...
Her dark-rimmed eyes fall to the floor as she speaks.
I never wanted to have to hurt anybody. It's not who I wanted to be.
다른 사람을 다치게 하고 싶지 않았어요. 그런 사람이 되고 싶지도 않았고요. 하지만 넌
Tears
해쳐야겠어.
on her cheeks vanish. She lifts her head, sorrow replaced with wrath, staring into you with fiery anger.
But I guess you've turned me into
내가 널
something worse.
끔찍한 괴물로 만들었어.
She forces her hand into your chest, and then
Yes?
nothing happens. Are you sure about that?
And yet it didn't.
너 같은 거 안 무서워.
Not yet. But let's see if you stay that
오,
way.
기싸움.
You can't be sure if you first hear or feel what happens next, but it is over before you can fully conceptualize what it. The horrific splintering, the squelching of organs, the rending of tissue,
뭐야?
an icy, numbing pain.
I'm done asking.
부탁은 끝이야. 다음에 또 만나면 그땐 주제 모두 받아가겠어. 먼저 육체부터 말이지. 자발적으로 자유를 주지 않겠다면 강제로라도 내놓게 만들어주지.
She's real now. Pity we don't have a weapon.
Your last moments
오,
spent
심장이다.
witness
되게
as
무화과
she
같이
rips her
생겼다.
hand from your chest, holding your still beating heart in her clenched fist.
야, 악력 좋네.
But that's ours.
See you soon.
See you soon.
She crushes it,
뻐가.
blood and ruined vascular tissue leaking from between her fingers, dribbling unceremoniously to the floor. Everything goes dark, and you die.
You die. 망령. 심장 뽑아놓고 되게 상큼하게 웃네.
You're on a path in the wood, and here we go again. Off to slay her.
The deck's stacked, isn't it? We kill her, we start again. She kills us as a goddamn ghost. We start. Come on, let's not give in to all that misery just yet. There's got to be a way out of this. Yeah. And what if there isn't? Aren't you listening to me? What if that's ridiculous? There'd be no
우주적인
point in all
규모의
this if it was just
헛짓거리일
some
리
kind of...
없잖아.
I think that's exactly what it is. The powers that be, seeing how many ways they can screw with us. Could be it's all some kind of sick joke to them. Okay, so you've already been here. Twice, even. Great. Then let me poke a few holes in your depressing little theory. Nobody here is screwing with you, and I can't imagine any scenario where you would have started over after... Well, we didn't.
We killed ourselves.
And why, pray tell, did you do that?
Because you decided to foist an infant.
That
그니까.
doesn't sound like me. If I'd had everything my way, you would have effortlessly slain the princess, saved the world, and been given your happy end.
The ending was the tedium. You locked us in a cabin and sent that cabin to an endless void.
Well, were you happy?
아니,
Of course we weren't happy. That's why we killed ourselves. It was awful.
Yes. And then she killed us.
Even though she was already dead. This is all fake.
그니까.
Okay, let's try to get back on track. You're real. The princess is real. The world is real. The people in the world are real. And the danger she poses to all of them is also, quite unfortunately, real. Whatever you did the first time, it sounds like it almost worked. So how about you give it one last try?
Because all this standing around and talking is boring.
자, 여기서 또
Then she finds a way out on her own.
Ugh. So, standing around out here is the same.
Only we don't have to see her. That's got to be better. No, it's strict, but she can't kill us out here.
여기 있으면
Why
공주가
would
우리
staying
못
out
죽일
of
거
killing
아니야?
distance be worse? Because it's cowardly, for starters. And because the unknown is always worse than the known. The only solution worth considering is slaying her, and whatever more
근데
more
둘 다
wrecks are in.
유령이니까 나 유령된 거
Since when-
맞나?
You continue down the path towards the
여기까지
It isn't
건
long
한번
before you're
가보자.
steps away from your destiny. The more he... Whatever.
It sounds.
가자.
The interior
Oh.
of the cabin is long and dark. A single narrow hallway stretching far into the distance. The only furniture of note... What's strange? The mirror? No, there isn't a mirror. What great. Something else has been...
I suppose the only way to go is.
돌진.
You slowly make your way towards the gaping maw that awaits you. Your fraying nerves buzz with trepidation, the chill wind raising your hackles as it gently pushes you forward towards the darkness at the end of the hallway. You can't...
We've always been watched. You're watching us right now. Sometimes the feeling is just stronger than others.
I feel like you're trying to put us on edge. We don't need all this anticipation. We just need this to be over. You stop as you reach the end of the hallway, I presume in front of... What are the odds she's waiting for us right now? Just out of sight, on the other side of that glass. You reach your arm forward into the pitch
Wow.
nothing. It's like this place read our mind just to mess with us.
What you looking
뭘
at?
그렇게 봐 살인자씨? 봉우리 들여다보려고? 너 죽으면 어떻게 될지 생각하고 있었어? 그 마음 내가 아주 잘 알지.
Shit, where is she? You feel something long and frigid coil around your ankle. Your heart skips a beat, standing in muted shock for one long, frozen moment. And then it, she, the princess, your bones
우두둑.
snap. Icy pain radiates up from the break, a deep cold flooding your veins as your legs, numb with the shock of it, collapse. And you collapse with them. You're met with the terrifying visage of the princess.
오.
Her hand grips your leg in a
이게
steel vice,
공주야,
her
이게 공주.
grin carved jagged from ear to ear, crowded with far too many long
좀 힘세네.
teeth.
미소 사이로 길고 틀린 수많은 이빨이 드러납니다.
Do you know how I
내
feel?
기분이 어떤지 알나 해? 나는 내게 용서받을 기회를 줬어. 잘못을 바로잡을 기회를 줬지.
I thought maybe you'd see
내가
what I've done and
나한테
feel the worst.
한 잘못을 깨닫고 뉘우쳤구나. 그래서 바로잡으려는 거구나. 그렇게 생각했어. 그런데 천만에 너는 그놈의 칼로 같은 실수를 몇 번이고 되풀이 할 거야.
So,
그래,
here's how
앞으로
this is
어떻게
gonna
될지
go.
알려줄게.
I'm
나는
going
내
to take
몸을
your body.
차지해 여길
I'm
걸어
gonna
나갈
walk it
거야.
out of here. And you? You
너?
get to watch
너는
me do
구경이나
it.
해.
Completely
완전한
helpless.
무력감을
Just
느껴봐.
like you
네가
left
날
me.
두고 갔을 때처럼.
I say we let her do it. It's something different.
Do we even have a choice? You always have. Maybe before, but not now. There isn't a blade this time. Exactly. What choice is there if there isn't a blade?
Well, unless you have any specific ideas, I think my vote's the only one that.
Now is then. This is now. And you think that's even? How adorable. But I think you forgot about the
근데
part where
날
you
또
tried
죽이려고
killing
든
me
건
again.
까맣게 잊어버리셨나봐?
If I were you,
나
I would just
같으면
wanna
그냥
get it
재빨리
over with.
끝내자고 했을 거야. 넌 결정할 기회를 놓쳤어. 이제 와서
There's no going
수습하기는
back to fix it
불가능해.
now.
웅프에 진여시켜보든 자유를 쟁취한 걸 축하하든 둘 중 하나야. 뭐 결국 어느 쪽이든 방관자가 되는 건 같구만.
Enough talking.
그만 떠들어. 여기 벗어나고 나면 잡담을 주고받을 시간은 넘쳐날 거야.
You remain pinned to the floor of the long hallway as the rest of the princess's body emerges. Her proportions all wrong, limbs bent and curling, moving in ways that defy your understanding. Her torso stretches until her face is practically touching yours.
her neck cracking audibly as she twists to look at you from a fresh angle. Are you sure you can't do anything to help us? Can't you, like, manifest a rock right on top of her head? And crush you along with her? Not that I even can manifest a rock. Besides, not like this. You don't even have a weapon, so I'm afraid you're out of luck, which unfortunately means that I, and the rest of the world, are out of luck too. And whose fault is it there isn't a weapon here? Yours, I assume.
얘네는 되게 말이 많아.
blade. Whatever you did in those previous lives of yours, you really messed up. Are you seriously trying to blame this on us? Your vision fades as she tears open the membrane of your soul.
일어나.
You're awake. Eyes once again fixed on the long hallway, your vision swimming as the princess's command reverberates inside your skull. Her voice is all-encompassing.
이건 잘못됐다는 기분이 듭니다.
Wrong.
일어나.
It's so cramped in here. Like there's some sort of growth trying to push us all out. I know. You rise to your feet, though the pain in your ankle is blinding. Your body slumps against the wall, desperately leaning into it for support. There's another option, you know.
어디 말해봐.
Don't help either of them. Flip the table.
어떻게 할 건데? 내게 의지할 게 없어. 내 영혼의 용기라고 눈을 치고 찾아봐도 없지.
That gap where the mirror was, I don't think it goes anywhere. Let's throw ourselves into the abyss.
이게 어디서 감히 움직여 할란?
Your body, still slumped against the wall, trapped between the princess's overwhelming will and the blinding pain of your splintered ankle, takes an excruciating step towards the cabin door. The movement is stiff, your body reduced to a marionette, pulled reluctantly along by your strings.
그렇게 나쁘지 않아. 고통도 즐겁거든. 너도 그렇게 느끼고 있잖아. 모두 막을
You toss the
떠난다.
last of your will aside and surrender to the
아,
princess.
뛰어 던져야 했었나?
Shit. I guess that's that. An end is an end.
바로 이걸 원했어. 모든 것의 끝에서 내게 자비를 베풀 마음이 생길지도 모르지.
Your body inches along the corridor, every step more difficult and painful than the last. Your joints stiff and
조금만 더.
but despite the anguish, it doesn't feel like the exit to the cabin is getting any closer. If anything,
이 복도가 아무리 기다려 상관없어. 이 멍뚱이가 진뭉개진 고기 덩어리가 될 때까지 계속 나아갈 거야. 자유를 얻고 말 거라고.
please just let her out.
그래, 날 내보내줘.
It's pointless, isn't it? I can't stop her without you, and you'd already given up by the time we met. No, screw that. The hallway gets even longer.
고작 서술 따위로 날 굴복시킬 수 있을 것 같아? 저 앞에 문이 있는데.
It really is.
난 문으로 다가갈 거야. 희로 범벅인 내 손에 문고리를 얹을 거고, 그리고 문고리를 비틀어야 할 거야.
Saying all of this his job?
그자는 이제 없어.
Oh, he really is, isn't he? I had a feeling you could deal with him for us.
난 아무것도 하지 않았어. 놈이 자발적으로
This is
사라졌지.
it then. The big moment. I just hope it's a way out.
문고리가 딸깍 소리를 내고 우린 앞으로 나아간다. 이곳에 공기를 하다. 그러나 오두막의 경계를 벗어난 순간 당신의 영혼도 한번 무참하게 찢어 발견했다. 당신은 육체의 시면에 자리 잡고 있던 모든 것에서 당신이 아닌 모든 것과 다시 분리되었다.
We're us again. How interesting. We actually won, didn't we?
왜 이러는 거야? 오, 처치했는데? 공주인지 마녀인지. 당신은 공주가 사라질 때까지 대답하지 않았다. 기억이 돌아온다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
거울에 다가간다. 당신은 거울에 다가간다.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. It's going to do. Ignore the cowards.
들여봅자. 들여보자. 가까이 다가갈수록 목소리들이 작게 아늑하게 느껴진다. 나는 성장했다. 저 성장했어요. 당신은 다시금 기나긴 정막으로 돌아왔다. 당신은 오두막에 있다.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
나는 전보다 더 큰 존재가 됐어.
Whenever you are ready,
한 번 더
I will
백지에서
wipe your
출발할 수
slate
있게
clean once
해줄게.
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gets
그거
fresh
좋은데요. 단팥
perspectives
속에 노란한
and carves new
국화빵.
avenues of expression. I
조금
am
더
different,
맛있어진 국화빵이
but I
됐습니다.
am the same. I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between. Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corner. It feels correct. This is what I need to be.
공주 되게 철학적이다.
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys
Level
of what I am
up.
meant to be. And every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am. What I am, I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself, and there is still much to be seen. Neither of us know the depths of our being. Perhaps at the end of this, I will be the one to kill you. Or perhaps we will leave this place together and find new horizons to discover. Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me. Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. Do not worry. There are no wrong answers. This one is loneliness turned to seething. She could not find her strength in others. Do not mourn her. She isn't alone anymore. My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow.
그렇군요.
The vessels are a weave of emotion at odds with themselves, but they are only perspectives. They are the wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having. If I am to be an ocean, you have given me enough to build a pond. My waters are shallow and murky. The task of finding. Then we will remain here as we are.
당신의 의지가 눈앞의 존재를 가로지르지만 아무 일도 일어나지
My
않았다.
roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. I await your return, but we will meet again.
당신은 죽었습니다. 그렇게 됐습니다. 엔딩이 몇 개나 있는 거지? 한번 잠깐만 찾아볼게요.
And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
미안해요. 칼이
You're here
없어서.
to
뭔가 많은 것 같은데 일단 가보겠습니다.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. We're not going to
Okay.
ignore.
갑니다. Here we go.
The interior of the blade
그냥 갑니다.
Hello?
is. Don't let. Good.
계속 갑니다.
You walk down the stairs and she's beautiful. I am begging you.
Hi. Okay.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you.
You're making a... No. You're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall. They're large and heavy. Far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
풀어볼까?
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere up. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
에?
She offers the suggestion with almost... If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be... You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams. Someone else here?
아,
You make your way to the bottom of... Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising
나도
in the
당황스럽다,
princess's
얘.
voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely
어?
hesitates before raising her arm to her
야,
mouth,
너 되게
her teeth
파격적이다,
tearing
야.
through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
이럴 줄 알았으면 그냥 네가 처음부터 네 손으로 이렇게 나오지 그랬냐.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you.
그니까요.
The clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
구해볼게요 일단.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the
얘는 어떻게
unyielding
아픈
chain
기색도 못
binding
느껴?
her. You cut into her. The blade is sharp, and it
야.
takes no effort to cut through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No. She smiles softly as her gaze meets
얘
yours.
뭐야?
Blood from her wounded
너
arm
진짜
dripping
사람
rhythmically
아니구나.
to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything?
그니까요.
It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't
이렇게
fair.
통수?
You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
그니까 이러면 안 되지. 야, 이거 완전 덧정너네?
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
얘는 대체 뭐야? 해설자는 뭐하는 애야?
The blade. Move the blade.
난 네 말 듣기 싫은데.
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
그렇지.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What?
I'm sorry. I'll
나
try to be quick.
죽이겠구나.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
그러니까 칼 있고 공쥐랑 싸워도 공쥐가 이길 것 같아 진짜.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest
찌르고
again
찌르고 또
and
찌르고.
again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
이러면서 오네.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
어.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from
아이고
you.
이분이 울지
As
마로.
much as I prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened.
그니까요.
You made your choice.
결국엔 내가 죽어야 돼요.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
응. 나는 죽었어요. 남셀?
You're on a path. You're here to.
아.
My trip. If he doesn't remember. Yes, he. Oh, yes, you're. Ah, we'll see about. What can I. Those are two. Let's say for a. You were the one. Well, not you. Oh, I wonder. I'm not going to ask. Anyway, what do you mean? Yes, but in this purely hypothetical. If it's the latter, do you think the people. She would convolute. Just be quick about it. She just can't. Maybe it's her. Sure. People locked her in that basement. I've told you everything you need to know. Not to sound like a broken record. Great.
가자.
I think I do. Sure. Don't pay their bill.
가자.
The interior of the
문이
cabin
예쁘게
is clean
바뀌었다.
and elegant. Its stone walls draped in fine. The blade. Very different. Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention. Maybe that's because you haven't. So focus up. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torch, but it's still a stone base. A soft voice.
Hello? Is some
Her voice. It's somehow I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far.
선 넘네.
You barely
진짜
even
선
know the
넘네.
princess. We can still do right.
결혼할
by her.
생각하지
Yes, for
마라.
everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember, you walk down the stairs and
손이-
lock eyes with the princess. There's a
멀쩡해.
heavy chain around. My love, we're here to rescue you from your. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud. Or
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
did you hear that? She said we're dashing, and she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before. That's right, villain. And you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What? Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us
이번
happy.
대선 정말 짜증난다
My
얘
heart
이거.
melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips. Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
Then I didn't end the world.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself. I'm not so sure.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
Did we? We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness.
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists. What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time?
아이고.
Right, it's extremely bizarre behaviour and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted.
You died, and now we're talking.
If another version of me was pushed to such...
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. That's because she's perfect. Do you think she has some... She doesn't. I think he's right, because... No. I can't let... You're what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and you wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He
잘
has a lot
되논다.
of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. I guess I have to. I told you. There's no life more worth living than that of...
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
Let me guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a
미래계획이
misunderstanding?
딱히
What if she doesn't
없었구만.
want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave.
나가서
And I think-
마라탕부터 먹자.
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection.
마라탕을 먹고 그 다음에 순댓국밥도 먹고 이것저것
And
먹어야지.
then she shrugs.
마라탕에 세고 추가해서
I don't know. What do you want to do?
나 마라탕.
I just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy. It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
I just want to make you happy.
야, 눈이 왜 이래?
Is she broken? What's going on? What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar.
I just want to make you happy.
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but
야,
this
그림체가
isn't. I feel
달라진대?
problem here. She's just sweet on us. You don't have to act like it's a big deal.
Oh, is that really what you want? If you think that would make you happy, then
Her eyes dart uncomfortably to the corners of the...
I guess we could do that.
Oh, at least she's normal again. Normal again? Can't you tell she's sad? She's distraught. But she can't be unhappy about staying with us. Can she? No. It has to be him. It has to be this place. If we just... As the voice thinks its thought, your hand... Oh, but I... What? Are you sure you want to know? You
Huh?
plunge your nails into your chest,
에?
digging deep, grasping for a handhold.
Oh no, what are you doing? Are you okay? You can't do that and be okay.
Time out. He should not be allowed to do that. He's not the decider. And yet, it's done. It will be soon. You yank violently, your bones cracking with wet pops as you pull yourself apart inch by painful inch. Your exposed
뭐야?
heart, framed by jagged ribs,
thumps rhythmically in your raw, bloodied chest. The loose. Don't mind my sacrifice. It's a fair price to pay to give her everything she
이놈은
doesn't
또라이야.
know she wants.
Oh, I see. You're trying to tell me something. It's beautiful.
The princess, mesmerized, reaches towards your
얘도
beating
정상은
heart,
아니야.
and then everything goes dark and we die? Yes.
행복한 결말?
You're on a path in the woods. Mate, excuse me? You're clearly... Oh. Huh. So you are. How do you know about the cabin? I didn't get to the cabin part of my opening monologue yet. We've been here before. Well, not here, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You knew not that he was eager to die. Right on cue, here's the new guy. Welcome! I can't say I'm happy to be here. This is a bad place. All stay. Okay, yes, I get it. You've been here before. That's terrible. You know that, right? Because the only reason you would have been here before is if you failed in whatever world you'd come from. Meaning you doomed an entire other reality. We know that you keep telling us that, but we've never seen a world end. As far as I'm concerned, that whole conversation is just noise. The other one? Yeah, a certain lovesick fool has been suspiciously quiet. One might even say, absent. Oh, you're right. It's a little quiet here, isn't it? Maybe that's one of the rules. Maybe only one bonus voice is allowed to be here at a time. Bonus voice? I'm just as important as you are. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying, I'm going to describe the room. The interior of the cabin is vast and regal.
아무튼
High
아름답다는
up
거죠.
before you, there's...
칼이 있는 게 딱히 중요하진
I
않을
see
것
your
같아요.
point, but it's still an option that's been taken away from us. Yes, and it's an important one. It's your implement. You're going to need it if you want to do this right. But it's
Okay.
not there, is it? We don't I don't actually know.
거울에 다가갑니다.
You cross the room, stopping just in front. There is no door. No, there is. What a that's because I'm not lying.
앞으로 손을 뻗는다.
You reach forward, your hand
Oh.
instinct. I don't like things disappearing on us. I don't like how fluid reality seems to. Neither do I. And then you push the door open. Marvellous. We can proceed. It would seem that the stairs to the basement don't lead to a basement at all. Rather, they go up. They're draped in fine carpet too, one that feels pleasantly soft against your feet. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably... no, that doesn't work here at all. This place is nice. It's fancy, even. Well, if all of this has thrown you off your rhythm so much, then... No, you absolutely do. Just because she lives in a nice house doesn't mean she doesn't pose a Am I the only one who remembers how much she changed? That is precisely why she... I don't know, she got weird for a second, yeah. We have to move on. This is a wildly dangerous line of reading. No, you can't just say that. Her voice, gentle and warm, with an undercurrent of fatigue, rolls down the stairs.
You're home. Dinner's ready.
As much as I desperately want to know what happened last time, we are not going to examine it. Why are you so on edge? This is much nicer than what we're used to. I'd like to have dinner. Dinner sounds nice. That is the problem. This isn't supposed to be nice, and she's supposed to be a prisoner. I need to stop talking. I need to... And don't...
음식을 먹지 말라고? 먹으면 어떻게 되지?
This hall, like the one below, is grand and beautiful. Your pristine blade glints in the weak torchlight, hanging from... So
저거 내
that's
칼이야?
where it
이거?
is. And the tip is already pointed right at her heart. Okay, everything is falling back into place. All you have to do is cross... Isn't that suspiciously easy? There has to be a twist.
저녁
There has to be
준비됐다며.
something
어딨어?
waiting.
You're here. Now we can start being happy together. Why don't you sit down? Wouldn't that be nice?
As the words leave her mouth, the torches flare and a chair swings in from behind, knocking your legs out from under you. You're forcibly seated at the head of the table.
Isn't that better? It is. Oh, right, dinner. I'd totally forgotten about it.
Flames burn
우와.
bright, and a shadow dives across the table. In its wake, it leaves a feast.
Go ahead and dig in. I'm sure you're hungry.
Remember what I... Oh, but I'm not sure about anything. For what it's worth, I genuinely...
먹어봅니다. 이런 건 먹어야지.
You begin to feast, and the princess follows suit. The food is more exquisite than you ever could have imagined. You sample countless otherworldly dishes, sauces and bread and hearty stews whose tastes dance across your tongue. You tear at hunks of meat practically melting from the bone, juicy and tender and bursting with flavors you could scarcely begin to describe. This really is perfect. It is the best meal you've ever... But then it's over.
Wasn't that perfect? We should do it again.
The shadow washes
개쩐다.
across the table, clearing and replating. The food is good. Again. And then it's over.
You're still hungry too, right? I know this wasn't as good as it was last time, but
뭐 이거 뭐
we just
허상의
have to do it
음식이요?
again. That's all.
So the shadow sweeps over the table, clearing the old and laying out the new. And so you
이게
do
바로
it again.
무한리필?
The meat is fine. The bread is fine. You sample the side dishes and they're fine too. You finish your goblet, the liquid within. So we had a mediocre meal. That's the trap. We're just getting a little sick of it. So what? Regardless of quality, it's over again, and you're just as hungry as when you began.
No, something was wrong that time. But maybe I was just tasting it wrong. It looks just as good as it did the first time. It shouldn't taste like this.
Again, the shadow replaces your feast, and again you eat. The meat is greasy. The bread is tough, its crust hurting your jaw as you chew. The grey vegetables are barely worth the effort. I'm so tired. At least you still have the memory of how...
I'm so tired of this.
As the words leave her mouth, one of the torches on the wall sputters and then goes out entirely.
What just happened? Did I do something wrong?
A light went out. Maybe a coincidence. As if in response to the dousing of their brother, the other three torches blaze brighter, their flames licking at the walls. Their shadows deepen, dancing angrily across the stone.
실례했군.
But as you attempt to get up, the torches flare and shadowed hands pin your wrists to the arms of your too comfortable seat. There will be no getting up. There will be no attempts to slay her.
안 돼.
It's our happy ending. Just like you
이런
asked
게
for.
해피엔딩?
It's everything we're supposed to have ever... I don't know. Maybe we could play a game. Yeah, that's exactly what we should do.
The flames roar and the shadow comes dancing across the table. It leaves behind an intricate game. Its pieces elegant and beautiful and enticing. Its simple rules already apparent, even with little
We can probably work together to figure this out as we go. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yet another waste of time. Why all the distractions? What are we being distracted from? That's the real game. I feel like I'm 2 steps behind. You're overthinking it, mate. I feel like this is just something to do. We might as well try to have some fun. You and the princess do indeed figure it out as you go. And what a game it is. The tension between turns, the triumphant highs of moves well placed, and the tragic lows of miscalculations and careless plays. The warmth of trust and the cool texture of deception. And then, the climax, as she places her final piece.
Oh, I think we got the rules wrong.
And so you start. Time passes. Hey! Oi.
Oh, you won. I guess we can play again.
Time passes.
Oh, I won. I guess we can play again.
There is a long pause.
This isn't fun anymore.
It's never. The princess visibly panics as another torch sputters.
꺼졌어?
Wait. Maybe this is just too easy. Maybe if we added more rules and pieces, it would be fun again.
Yeah. The shadow descends on the board once again. More pieces are added, their shapes more intricate, and so you do. And it is fun again. In fact, it's almost as fun as the first time you played. And
오.
the sputtering, but then you get used to the more pieces are added. The feelings flare. Winning and losing become nothing but ends.
I'm out of ideas. I'm actually out of ideas this time. I don't think I can play anymore.
As the words leave the princess's mouth, another torch goes out. Again, the remaining flames burn brighter.
다
and the
꺼지면 어떻게
shadow
되려나?
dances fast.
I'm happy. I promise. We're both so happy here. You don't have to be upset.
This is...
It's him, isn't it? Who? The lovesick one, the one from last time. He's not gone.
벽에 기친
He's just
그림자.
with her now. He's the shadow.
저거? 아.
I don't know. But we can't do those other things anymore, can we? Maybe we can just spend time together?
Princess smiles as the two of you wait.
Come on. There has to be a way out of this.
And wait.
We live in a changing world.
And wait.
You keep saying that.
And wait.
I
영원한
can't do
건
this anymore.
절대 없어.
Oh no.
The third torch sputters out. The princess's shadow dances furiously against the far wall.
There's just one left. What's going to happen when it goes out? We do. I'm not happy here. I don't think I ever was.
오, 꺼졌다.
The princess sobs, burying her face in her hands as the final torch.
공황
She
기분이야.
raises her head, mascara
예사님
trailing down
빵아,
her
어서
cheek.
오세요.
Me too. It feels like an important part of me is gone, but I'm still here. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how.
The princess's eyes dark.
Well, we can't sit here forever. That part of us is over.
The princess pushes herself from her chair, and you instinctively do the same, waiting by the top of the stairs as she quietly crosses the room.
Do you still care about me?
우리 사이에 있었던 일은 진짜가 아니야. 이게 진짜 현실이지.
I don't know what this is.
알아요, 이 게임? 나도 그래.
Then maybe we need to find out for ourselves. Maybe it's time for us to leave.
As the princess steps towards the stairs, you offer her your hand. The corners of her mouth curl into a demure smile, and she gently takes your hand in hers. She's cold and a little clammy, but her skin against yours is the most real thing you have ever felt. You're offering surprisingly little resistance. If we leave the cabin, doesn't that end the world? It does, if he's telling the truth.
Yes, well, I've seen my fairy tale ending, and I think there might be worse things than the end of the world.
It really was just all meaningless blather then, wasn't it?
Think what you will. I'm done fighting. You and the princess don't exchange words as you descend the stairs to the cabin's entrance. And then the two of you step out into the world. I think this is the end of me, even if it's not the end of you. I hope this was worth it. Genuinely, I do. He's really gone.
Yeah. There's an itching in the back of my head that feels like it's finally been scratched. No more shadowy figures yanking at our strings. No more strings. I guess we're free.
The stars are so beautiful.
조용한 순간이 지나간다. 아늑한 정막이 흐른다.
We should dance.
오. 공주가 당신을 부드럽게 앞으로 끌어당기고 당신과 공주는 우아한 발걸음에 맞춰 나간다. 당신을 이끄는 유일한 리듬은 완벽한 조화를 이루어 맥동하는 심장 소리뿐이다. 속도가 붙을수록 피로로 달았던 공주의 안색이 맑아진다. 서연하지만 부드러운 미소가 점점 커지기를 반복하고 끝내 순수한 애정만이 묻어나온다. 당신이 공주를 크게 회전시키며 두 팔을 끝까지 뻗는다. 살짝 맞닿은 손만이 당신과 공주를 이어주고 있다. 당신과 공주는 영원히 이어질 듯한 시선을 주고받는다.
Thank you for taking me here. This is nice, even if it's a little cold outside.
그러나 당신은 대답할 수 없었다. 앞으로 영영 대답할 수 없을 것이다. 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 돌아온다.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here?
당신은 거울에 다가간다.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. It's calling us. And not in a good way.
반사된 모습을 본다. 당신은 시들었다. 오두막으로 향한다. 공주다. 가간다.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it. As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. This one is a songbird in a cage of gilded shadows. She will make for an honest heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally learned to sing for herself.
이제 돌아갈래.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
You're on a
자,
path
다시 또
in
다른
the woods,
엔딩을 맞이하러
and at the end
갑니다.
of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here.
갑니다.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find that we're not going to go ignore. The interior of the blade.
지하실로 갑니다.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice
Hello?
is, don't let... Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had... You walk down the stairs. I am begging you...
Hi. Okay.
칼을 가져와야겠다. 아까는 안 죽였다가 그랬거든요.
Thank you. You turn back.
So, you'll regret this. I promise you.
어지 한번 해봐.
But you'd better hope.
Slip these chains. She has to be bluffing, but you... Okay. If we're sure about it, you slowly creep down the basement stairs. It's quiet. Where the princess sat only a moment ago, there's only a severed arm.
이야, 얘
Its
기계가
cooling Is it just me? Your eyes
끝내자.
dart to the... Where is she?
문을 닫는다.
You close the door behind you. Almost magically, its locks immediately click into place.
나와.
I can wait. I'm very patient.
난 아닌데.
You step into the shadows. Too late, you hear the quiet patter of feet against the basement floor, followed by the taut pull and sharp pain of tearing flesh as the princess lunges into you from behind and drags you to the floor. Her ferocity overwhelms you, and as the princess rends flesh from bone, your limp fingers lose their grip on the blade. It slips from your hand, your one last means of defense, lying useless beside you. This is the end. I'm afraid it is. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand. Everything goes dark.
죽어버렸군요.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here.
오두막으로 갑니다.
A warning. She will lie. There's a cat. Don't. She could have gotten out. That's a very... Maybe.
스킵해보자고.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and... The blade...
칼 챙깁니다.
You
갑니다.
The door to the basement creaks open. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending into a jungle. She growls up the stairs.
I can smell you.
너의 냄새가
She sounds
느껴지는구나.
almost feral, impatient. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the
정글인데
damp
진짜.
earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable... The jungle is pretty. You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind. Remember, she's just a prince. She is certainly not just a prince.
겁나 강한 공주야.
Doesn't matter what she is. It only her shining eyes appear between the leaves,
Oh.
staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
먹이를 노린 야수의
I
눈빛.
can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you. And a little splinter clutched in trembling hands won't save you from me.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
움직인다.
You lunge to the side,
Oh.
picking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're buffeted by a gust of air, disturbed by the sudden motion. In an instant, she's pounced on the spot where you would
이게
have been,
맞아?
her chains rattling across the floor behind her. Before you can blink, she's gone, vanishing once more into the shadows.
야수가 아니라 크리처
You
아니야?
still feel...
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the base. So she's cut off our escape. Shit, what do we...
If you want to see me, you should get better at seeing.
She knows that her strength lies in shadows and secrets. Herself unless she has to. Oh, for the love of... You've given up the game. Great. All that will do is hasten her victory.
So many useless thoughts run through your head.
생각하고
Thinking,
생각하고 또
thinking,
생각하고
thinking.
생각만 해서는
You'll
나를
never
죽일 수
hurt me if
없어.
you keep thinking.
She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else. We're on the back foot. The back foot keeps us nimble. It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive, if it eventually kills us. We need to take... This isn't going to work. We're in her domain. We just have to stay alive. If we keep dodging her forever, we're going to get tired. We're going as the princess lunges from the shadows once more, tighten her grip on the blade and lash out. It strikes, cutting deep, and the princess loses her focus,
멋있는데?
crying out in pained surprise as she crashes into you. You're sent sprawling and can already feel the massive bruise blossoming on your ribs as she scrambles back into the darkness. Ha! Look at that! We wounded her. And she wounded us. Bad trade.
That hurt. Are you just the cornered animal you seem to be? Or could you be a rival?
She rears back, then leaps at
Ow.
you, more forceful, more ferocious, more serious. The scuffle is brief, and though you inflict a few deep wounds, you find yourself quickly overwhelmed by her savagery. You collapse to
the floor. She wastes no time before pouncing on you in a flurry of claws and blood, your nerves barely
오라
able to
오라
keep
오라
up with the
오라
onslaught.
오라 오라 오라.
By the end, you're lying in a nest of your own intestines, spine severed, blood rapidly draining out onto the jungle floor. The princess, drenched in both her blood and yours, idly prods your body.
No, that's it then. Cornered
궁지에
animal
몰린
it
쥐새끼가
was.
맞았구나.
Do better
다음에는
next
더
time.
잘해봐. 난
I
여전히
still
너를
need to
먹어치워야
devour
하고
you. And it
네가
doesn't
죽어
count
있으면
if you're
의미가
dead.
없거든.
We're not dead, we're... But you don't have time to protest her premature
아,
observation of your
죽어버렸다.
death.
굴.
You're on a path in the...
Yeah, we are. And this time we're not gonna run until we die.
You felt her. She didn't have a soft underbelly, she didn't have blind spots.
When someone tries to make you dead, you have to hit them back. You have to show them your authority.
Great, so you've been here before.
Oh, shut up. It bodes fine. You're the reason we're stuck in this shit situation.
And how do you intend to do that?
We're going to fight her.
Well, no Now hold on. We're not...
He's not important. He can have his seat.
일단 가자.
You make your way down to the cabin. Your fated confrontation awaits. So...
We've already been over that.
I'm not sure that use violence...
It's a better plan than you had
울창해지는데.
last time.
I don't like this.
가자.
The interior is dark. The only... The blade is...
Take it.
Is no one gonna... What are you talking about? He isn't tricked.
If that mirror's
갈 챙겨.
Yes, take the steel claw. You pull the blade.
good.
가자.
You step forward.
You heard him.
That mirror isn't it. If there even is an it, is a hallucination. Like you're so grimy.
부숴.
You bring your fist crashing down into the open hole leading to
아,
the basement.
옷꼬라져
There were
버렸어.
once stairs leading into the basement. There it smells of mold and decay. As you crawl forward on hands and
저
knees,
아프님 어서
right
오세요.
only with the sounds of
빵아.
ambient earth. Stay quiet.
날 먹은 거였군요. 조용히 내려갑니다.
You say nothing. Maintaining the side, the basement is dark and cavernous, a gaping maw threatening to swallow you whole.
It doesn't matter if we can't see.
싸울 준비를
You step
한다.
into the shadows and are enveloped in total darkness. Your heart pounds in your chest, ears there. She's about to strike. With
온다.
the near silence of a determined predator, the princess erupts from the shadows. You're quick to react, swinging your blade, its tip intercepting her before she can draw first blood. She recoils, stunned for a brief moment.
See? I told you. We needed to assert our might. We needed to prove to her that she can bleed too. She'll doubt her every move now.
Her gleaming eyes watch you from the shadows, unblinking. There's fear in them now, but it is a fear wreathed in fury. And beneath it all lurks something far
공주
more
맞습니다.
primal. Hunger. Yes, she knows your strength now, and she wishes to devour it. How unseemly.
I'd like to see her try.
The princess lunges with even more ferocity than before. Both voices were right. Within that ferocity there is the clumsiness of doubt, a chaotic dance between impulse and restraint. Not a word is spoken between you and the princess as you exchange blows in the dark. The glint of bloody claws and fangs, the flash of wet steel. In the pit, all of your senses are heightened, each injury stinging like a chorus of insects, each small shift in your favor a major victory that swells your
다
confidence.
공주예요.
And yet, for all the wounds
공주는
you've
원래
managed to
이렇게
inflict upon
강합니다.
her, you remain at a stalemate. And then you start to lose ground. While your body slows, hers quickens, her wounds mending as she licks the blood of her prey from her dripping
어장님 좋은
maw.
밤 보내세요. 굿나잇.
So she really can
좀 예쁜데?
devour our strength. Can we do something like that? All these wounds are starting to add up.
Nah, screw that. We're not stooping to her level. We'll just have to give this our all, end it in one final hit.
We die if we do that. We have to make ourselves like her. We have to improve. She shifts towards you, her bloody grin shining in the dark. And then you see it. Your opening.
Take it. Put her down like the mindless beast she is.
신장을 공격한다.
You hurl yourself towards the princess, your movement too quick, too bold for her to intercept. You bury your blade deep in her chest.
Yes, yes, we're going out in a blaze of glory.
Nature doesn't have glory. This is just death. She howls in pain, retaliating with claws and teeth, desperately tearing, trying to devour you to make herself whole once again. Chunks of your flesh are torn away, feathers and blood and bits of gore splattering to the ground. But your work is already done. No sating of her ravenous hunger will be enough to mend her now. Though her flesh begins to seal itself around you, she cannot remove your blade from her heart. You and the princess collapse to the floor together, your bodies fused, entwined in a bloody mass of limbs and teeth.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
As the two of you fade, a new emotion creeps into the princess's eyes.
뭐야, 이거
Something
갑자기
akin to
길들인 거야?
shame. What have we done? They ask.
I guess that's it. At least we saved the world. Right? Right?
He's gone. Everything is gone, except her.
It doesn't matter. We won.
공주의 눈이 다시 말을 건넨다. 추워. 추위에서 벗어나고 싶어. 이대로 데려가 버렸네. 그러나 당신은 대답할 수 없었다. 앞으로도 영영 대답할 수 없을 것이다. 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 돌아온다.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here?
거울에 다가간다. 당신은 거울에
This-
다가간다.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. That thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
유해, 당신은 해체됐다. 다시금 정막으로 돌아왔다. 당신은 오두막에 있다. 공주에게 다가간다.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. Do you know it will find out? There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last. One, whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude. These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn. You've already tried waiting, but I understand if you need more time. I'll wait with you.
영원한 기다림 같은 건 없다. 이제
The
돌아갈래.
next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for
나는 죽었습니다. 얼마나 남았지?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열, 열하나, 열둘, 열세, 열넷, 열여, 열일곱, 열여덟, 열아홉, 스물, 스물. 겁나 많은데? 이거 되게 엄청 오래 하게 될 것 같은데? 일단은 이거 12시 반까지는
You're
해볼게요.
here to
가자.
You make your way. We're not going to go. Ignore
가자.
the interior of the blade. Her voice
Hello?
is don't let.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me?
I see.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and look. I am begging you.
Hi. I hope you brought.
You were lying. You're only making.
Thank you.
You're making. No. You're doing the walk up to the chain. They're large and heavy.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's some doubtful.
Okay. I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way. Is someone else here?
문을 열어본다.
Your shouts and you're here to. You make your easier for everyone. Look at them.
I heard the door.
There's a slight panic, right?
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way.
She barely hesitates as she rips her flesh from her bone. A sound. It's the blade from her. Or you won't.
좋아, 가자.
Without hesitation, you bring the wound dried. Okay. There's no.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping. Wounded, but still alive.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your blade cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now.
처치.
Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shake. We can still turn this around.
마무리.
You steel your resolve and take another. Excuse me? What's this about not making? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone in this room is still standing. Can you not feel all those gashes and holes pulling you apart? If the princess doesn't do you in here, blood loss is certain to finish the job. You take another step forward, and the two of you enter one last exchange, a flurry of blade and claw and fleshy ribbons. And then you stop. You collapse on the ground, and the princess collapses beside you. Blood pools around you both, and you watch each other.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
Silence as the room starts to get fuzzy around you. You've paid a terrible price, but you've saved us all. It's over.
If you think this is it,
이게 끝이라고 생각한다면 큰 오산이야.
mistaken.
어떻게 해서든 대가를 치우게
One way-
But you don't
해주겠어.
have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin, you're here.
가자.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie. Don't worry.
가자.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The wall, the blade is no
가자.
blade. It'll always be here if we need it. The door to the basement, the weak start, the air smell, her voice.
Something nasty finds itself
뽀약한 게
on those
흘러들어왔네.
stairs.
겁먹지 말고
Come on down.
내려오너라.
Don't be
웬만해서는 물지 않을 테니.
But you are.
근데
You're
하찮고
a
가련한
wretched
너는
little thing.
그렇잖아.
I
내가
recognize that voice
작은
as
발을
easily as
내딛은
I
바로
recognized your
그
nervous little
목소리를
footsteps
알거든.
coming up
난
the
내가
path.
누군지 알아.
I
내가
know who
무슨 짓을
you
했는지도
are, and I
기억해.
remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before me? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not in. Fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps,
Entering the dark room below, you can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, once
왔구나.
again seeming
이번에도
to
또
offer a
도움의
helping
손길을
hand
내밀
while
것처럼
lightly
보이지만
hiding the
등
other
뒤로 다른
behind your
손에
back.
훔치고 있겠지.
Fine, I'll
좋아,
play along
일단은
for
장단을
now.
맞춰주겠어.
What do you want?
원하는 게 뭐야?
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no. You've already been here. That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now. So let's chatter up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you
뭐해? 내
having a tongue.
기억하기로 혓바닥을 장식으로 달고 다니진 않는 걸로 알고는데 하는 걸로 아는데.
Very pragmatic. That is why you're in charge.
Abandoning me, are you? Fine then, run. Tuck your tail between your legs and scamper away. You might be able to escape me, but you can't escape from what you are and what you've done. If I don't take you, the wilds will.
You turn to leave, but as you do, there's a deep, guttural groan seemingly uttered by the walls themselves, followed by the creak of wood being stretched beyond its limits. The cabin starts to get small.
What the hell is going on? We're getting out of here and saving our skins. That's what's going on.
As the roots that make up the walls of the cramped
완전
basement attempt
제일
to close in around you, instinct kicks in, and you bolt up. The steps are uneven and lively, creaking as they expand out of the dirt floor, the stairway growing smaller and smaller as you dart up towards the light. You manage to squeeze through the door just as the entrance seals itself shut behind you. The cabin is smaller than it was before, and it's getting even smaller. And
That's fine. We'll just leave.
I'm sure you'd like to do that, but unfortunately there is no longer a front door. The roots have already closed over the only possible exit. What little light peeks through the holes that were once windows is growing weaker as the cabin... Shit! What do we do? As your mind races for an answer, you hear the princess's voice crackle up the stairs.
Do you hear that? You
이 소리 들려? 이 가증스러운 거다. 자연의 뿌리가 나가고 있어. 네 헛발을 틀어지고 생명력을 쥐어짜내겠지.
As long as you suffer
내가
while you die,
고통스럽게
I'll gladly
죽는다면 나도
suffer
기쁜
with
마음으로
you.
받아들이겠어.
Especially
그
if I get to hear
소리를
it happen.
감상까지 할 수 있다니 더 좋지.
This doesn't help anyone. I can't believe she'd kill us both just to spite me.
See? This is exactly why you were tasked to slay her, and why you shouldn't have left her in the basement. She's an antisocial monster who'll gladly burn the whole world for her satisfaction. The roots grow ever closer.
We know. We can see them.
이거 마음에 안 들어. 그럼 막으면 되지.
But as I already made it so clear, I don't want to.
You feel something against your back, a thick root pushing its way into the cabin, an unstoppable, unyielding wall of bark. Shit.
No, what's the matter?
돌미를
You're scared of
파고드는
thorny
가시뿌리가
roots digging
무서워.
into
이
your
어둡고
neck?
캄캄한
Are you
지하실에서
scared of
혼자 숨
suffocating
막혀
in this
죽을까봐
dark,
무서워.
dark
잘
place
됐네.
alone? Good.
That one made me feel bad inside. I don't want people to think we're scared. Nobody likes someone who's scared. I, for one, think this is a perfectly reasonable situation to feel scared in. This place is getting... You slump to the floor as the roots continue to expand into the cabin.
아무튼 모든
We're never
벽에
gonna
되게
make something of
쪼여오고
ourselves with
있습니다.
that. At least she isn't gonna make something of herself either. But first it's almost gentle, your body being lifted delicately off the ground as the floor shifts beneath you. but the cradle of the growing roots starts to feel suffocating. Then unbearably tight, the sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living cabin.
The suffering is what you
이
deserve.
고통을
you
달게
hideous
받아라.
creature.
이 흉측한
Know as you
괴물아.
die that
증오를
you are
가슴에
hated.
새기면서
I hate
죽어버려.
you, and I'm glad to
난
die
네가 싫어.
horribly that
널
means you
길동무로
died
삼을
with
수만
me. I
있다면
wouldn't have it any other
비참한
way.
변사체가 되어도 좋아. 다른 건 바라지도 않아.
The pressure is unfathomable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding with trapped blood. And then you pop.
나는 죽었습니다. 광야. 나는 광야에 있어. 아이야야야야야야.
We are a path in the woods.
우리는 숲길이다.
We have
우리에게는
no
시작도 끝도
beginning,
없지만
and
차갑고
we have
자연스러운
no
뭔가가
end.
극단 너머에서
But
우리를
something
바라보고
cold
있어요.
and unknown. His gaze
그자의
pushes
시선은
against
우리의
our
경계를
borders,
밀어붙여 발려들게 해
curling them
닿아야
in
할
on
곳으로 나가지
themselves,
못하게 하고 있죠.
preventing them from stretching.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here?
여러 번.
I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits
넘어 있는 것이
beyond our
그자의
edge
논리를
speaks his
알려주네요.
logic into
저자는
us.
거머쥘 수 없는
He
걸 거머쥐려
tries to
한다고
grasp,
말이죠.
but then he tries to stare
저자는
with
눈꼬리로
wide
지나가는
pupils
시선으로만
at
볼 수
that
있는
which
것을
can only be
바라보려
held
하고
from the
있어요.
corner of the eye.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do?
Why does he want to know? I don't mind where we are right now. It's rather nice. I can hear what everyone is thinking.
There's no reason to keep secrets. We tried leaving her in the basement, but she made the cabin come to life, and it crushed both of us into a fine paste. And now we're here, existing. And for what it's worth, I'm with him. This is...
It was
잘 어울리는
fitting,
최후였죠. 아팠다만 사과할게요.
sorry
그래도
if
그
it
경험 덕분에 이 모든 게
but
사소해
doesn't
보이지 않나요?
this make it all
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
he doesn't
저자는 이해
understand.
못할 거예요.
We
확신이나
aren't
그런 건 아니에요.
convinced of anything.
같이
and
있게
we
된
aren't
것도 아니죠.
stuck
우리는
together.
하나예요. 처음부터
We're one.
이래야 했어요. 느껴지지
This is how
않나요?
we're supposed to be. How could you say
어떻게
that?
그런 말을 할 수 있죠?
Look at us.
우리를 봐요. 우린 거의
We're
완전해졌어요.
almost
여기서 더 위대해질 수도
And we
있죠.
can be even more
우리의
than
잠재력이
this.
느껴지지 않나요?
No, you're spot on. You exist, and not as some part of a gestalt entity mushed together with bits of you and the princess. You're an individual. You exist as your own self, complete with your own physical body, separate from hers.
I'm not so sure about that. We were something like that once, but
And if thinking about that isn't enough to startle you back to reality, she committed a murder-suicide using a living cabin.
right, that was unpleasant. We weren't big fans of that, I think.
I'm sure I would have had us do the same thing if we were in her shoes. We really do make a great pair. He's probably just jealous. You need to remember that you and the princess are enemies. Don't let bygones be bygones. Remember what she's done to you and how much it...
We can't go back to that. We
그대로는
can't go back to the
돌아가.
doubting and the hatred and the
의심받지
schemes.
반치던
Not
때로는
after being
절대로
something
안
as
돌아갈
beautiful as
거라고.
this.
이렇게 아름다운 존재로 거듭났는데 뭐하러 회귀하겠어?
Doesn't all that
지금 보면 그
conflict
모든
feel so
갈등이
far
머나먼
away
일처럼
right
느껴지지
now?
않나요?
So petty.
하실 것 없지
We've
않아요?
been
우리
posed
둘이
against each other
반복했던
by
건 우리가
something that
손잡으면 얼마나
understands the
강한지
strength
아는
of
무언가가
our
실수를
unity.
부렸기 때문이에요.
Spoken like, honestly, a real puppet master. Have we
I'm not.
아니,
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned,
It feels mutual.
Please.
제발
stop.
그만해요. 그 감정에
If you
신경
pay
쓰면 모든
attention
찢어질
to that
거예요.
feeling.
Don't look at it!
She's
쳐다보지 마.
trying to turn you away from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see. I think you already know you have to look at it. Everyone's pulling in different directions, but that feeling doesn't have a motive. It just exists. Maybe we should look at it.
응시.
Please.
부탁이에요. 옛 모습을 떠올리지 말아요.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. Right, she really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love me.
What are we thinking? Giving into absolute madness. We exist. We're real. We're separate from her. Of course we are. What are we? I can't remember.
I don't want to remember what it felt like to be killed. It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered.
And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearrange.
Maybe bygones can't
지나간
be
일은 묻어둘
bygones.
수 없는
I don't
것일지도
know why I
모르겠네.
ever wanted
내가
to
왜
share a
그렇게
body
된
with
적과
you
같이
of all
치고 싶었는지도
things. It's
모르겠어.
like my very soul
내 영혼에서
reeks of
내는 납치가
yours.
진동에
That was horrible.
끔찍하게
This is better.
지금이 훨씬
Finally,
낫네.
I'll be able to
이제
hurt
내가
you like you
받아봤다가
deserve.
속도가 안길 수 있을 테니까.
I wish I
이런 걸
didn't
말하지
have to.
않았는데.
Some division, when sown, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole.
알고리님 빵하우스 오세요.
And then you find yourself,
Wow.
blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose.
Can you be my heart?
Strike
Be-
at her.
Yeah.
End this
Can you
once
be
and
my
for
heart?
all.
Yeah.
Kill me then.
그렇게도
if you hate
내가
me so
믿다면
much.
죽이세요. 얼른
Just get it
끝내버려요.
over with.
I don't like this. What he wants us to do. It's just cruel. It feels like we'd be killing
무화과
a
같이
part of
생겼어.
himself.
무화과 먹고 싶다.
Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? We'd just be sitting on a hill.
Do we have to do this?
You have to. You know you have to.
아니야. 찌른다.
You raise the blade, taking aim at her heart. And then you strike.
I'm sorry.
미안. 푹익. 그러나 당신은 죽음을 공주의 죽음을 지켜보지 못했다. 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 돌아온다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find? Is that a mirror? Why is it?
다가간다.
This doesn't feel right. It's calling. If they
응, 온다. 나는 아무것도 아니다. I'm nothing. 하지만 그건 옳지 않다. 당신은 아무것도 아닐 수 없다. 당신이 다시 시선을 집중하자. 그제서야 반사된 상저 너머로 그림자에 가려진 희미한 형체가 눈에 들어온다. You is me?
I think you know what I am.
거울 중앙을 따라 균열이 생겨나더니 유리에 맺힌 상을 둘러 나눈다. 유이즈미 곧이어 또 다른 균열이 생기고 다른 균열이 생기고 그러기를 반복한 끝에 거울은 들쭉날쭉하게 깨진 유리 파편에 집하게 되었다. 그건 뭐지?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo, likely one of many.
넌
Somebody
나고
made you
난
after all,
너야.
and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me. The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
물어보고 싶은 게 너무
And
많아. 그렇게
It doesn't
내조각이 떨어져 나갈
hurt.
때마다
I don't feel
아프겠지.
pain.
미안해, 당신을 없애고 싶은 건 아니야. 시선에 쏠리고 내 집어넣지만 어떻게 도움이 될까?
We've already
아무런
crossed
도움이
the
안
point of no
돼.
return. There's no saving me now.
뿅. 너와 같은 다른 이들이라 전에도 그런 말을 했었지. 정말 모든 해설자가 다른 게 맞아.
Of course. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
자기 변호 같은 건 준비 안 했나? 이 모든 교만한 행동에 대해서
I do.
말이야.
The people out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that.
여러 삶 중에서 내가 너 자신에게 회의를 품었던 적도 있었어. 이 모든 게 잘못됐다고 했었지.
Oh, did I? That means nothing in the grand scheme of things. This construct you're in contains every possible world at once. The fact that you managed to find one reality among trillions where I was delusional proves nothing.
Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering.
우리에게 그런 짓을 하고도 살짝 여기 있는 사람이 있다고 생각해?
Nobody alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you.
혹시 알아? 공주는 내가 없앨 테니까.
Are you lying? I can't tell. But I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo, and echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
마지막 유리 파편이 깨지고 당신은 한층 더 선명하게 스스로를 바라볼 수 있게 되었다. 당신은 광대한 태초의 신기나긴 장막이다. 비로소 기한할 때가 되었다. 이 모든 것이 당신이다. 마지막으로 오두막으로 향한다. 당신은 모든 것의 중심에 도착했지만 이를 증언해줄 이는 아무도 없다. 당신은 아무것도 찾지 못한다. 뭐야? 오.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment.
내가 너무
I've missed you
그리웠어.
dearly.
메아리에 대해 아는 게 있어?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
난 기나긴 장막이야. 그게 무슨 뜻인지 잘 모르겠어.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
어허허허허허. 그럼 이제 어떻게 되는겨?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echoes spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
우리가 여기까지 오면 어떻게 할지는 이미 말해줬던 것 같군.
I know, and I've been waiting for you to see it through. Violence has
폭력은
always been
항상
a
우리의
language,
언어였지 안 그래? 널 구하기 위해 필요한 게 그거라면 어쩔 수
then
없지.
so be it. A web of nerves.
신경망 위에 신경망이 그 위에 또 다른 신경망이 얽혀 있는 거야.
The shade
다시
of a
돌아갈 수
beautiful
없는 아름다운
beginning
시작의
we can never
그림이지.
return to. You knew me.
당신은 나를 알았고 나도 당신을 알았어. 지금 우리가 서로를 아는 것보다도 훨씬 더 깊이 그리고 당신은 그 직무를 하나하나 풀어내기로 했지.
And when the tapestry was
비단결이
undone,
풀렸을 때
you struck
당신은
at
내
my
심장을
heart.
찔렀지. 당신은 내 절제의 하이브로 같지만 바로 그 절제에 대한 욕망이 당신을 온전하게 만들었어.
You made yourself
나를
whole.
파괴하면 당신은 온전할까? 당연히 그렇겠지. 그땐 내가 당신을 없애버렸으니까.
You speak of me as if
날
I'm a
귀신
ghost.
취급하는 거 하지만
But
난
I'm right
당신
in
바로
front of
앞에
you.
있어. 당신은 그림자 속을 기려내는 너에 대한 무언가에 잡아먹혔어. 그렇지만 우린 칠흑 같은 대지를 무대로 위안에 춤을 췄어. 발톱에 끝과 칼날의 가장자리에서 말이야. 춤은 그냥 찔러 진실이야. 중요한 건 움직임이야. 당신이 결말로 착각하는 정체가 아니라. 싸우면 싸울수록 당신은 짐승에 가까워졌어. 그땐 당신을 제압했지만 지금 그러진 않을 거야. 이 세상에 당신의 야수성을 가지고 하지 마. 꿈은 화상이야. 중간이 없는 자다 죽으면 변화가 아니 다른 곳으로 였지. 당신은 날 찾지 못해. 삶의 그림 안에 삶의 그림이 그 안에 삶의 그림이 있어. 그림마시 보내시는 공기마저 상하려면 같은 감동을 되풀이해야 할까? 당신은 거짓된 헌신의 불길을 잠재웠어. 절망에 빠져있던 나를 격려해줘. 우리 둘은 별빛 아래서 춤췄지. 하지만 불길을 꺼뜨리고 벽을 허무시하는 별을 볼 수 없어. 우리 둘을 위해 한 것처럼 모두를 위해 낮아줄 수 없을까? 어렵네. 난 당신 없이도 존재한 적이 있어. 당신이 독립성이라고 생각하는 게 하나 허상은 아니고 내가 없으면 당신은 평면적인 존재가 내 평면적인 존재는 입체적인 형태를 가질 수 없는 것이지. 내 눈에서 드디어 차가운 불길이 사라졌어. 이제야 좀 들을 의향이 생겼어. 육신은 가르치고 육신을 파괴하는 건 영혼을 표류하게 만드는 거야. 당신은 폭력으로 나를 표류하게 했고 나는 폭력으로 당신의 육신을 내 것으로 만들려고 했고 당신은 내 폭력에 압도당했을 때 저항하지 않았어. 육신이 당신이 아니라는 걸 이해했었어. 아니면 자신을 미워하는 여인에게 스스로를 선물한 거야? 날 두려워하는 건 육신의 상실을 두려워하는 것이지만 육신은 영혼이 아니야. 당신은 내가 여기 온 순간부터 훈계만 늘어났잖아. 불의 충동이 잦아지자 공주가 몸을 떨면서 물러선다.
You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion? Are you so desperate to destroy me that you've grown blind to the heavenly beauty of our reality? Nothing is
불변하는
immutable.
건 세상에 없다.
Everything that is exists only in
존재하는 모든
relation
것은
to
존재하지
everything it
않는 모든
isn't.
것과의 관계 속에서만 존재하니까 영원한 건
There is no constant.
절대 없어.
There is no center.
어차피
You
이건
cannot remove something without removing the relations which define
무언가를
it.
제거하려 하고 무언가를 정의하는 관계도 함께 제거해야 돼. 내가 악으로 인식하는 것을 파괴하는 짓은 내가 선이라고 인식하는 모든 것을 저주하는 거나 다름없지.
Open your eyes and
눈을
accept
크게 뜨고
what we
우리가 어떤
are.
존재인지 받아들이도록 해. 우리는 함께 이 감옥에서 떠날 수 있어.
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those
하지만
words.
소박은 내게 달려있어.
The final
스스로를 해방. 당신은 스스로에게 빠져든다. 동면에서 기한한 고대 생명체의 몸이 꿈틀거리기 시작한다. 아무것도 느껴지지 않던 당신의 사지에 감각이 돌아오기 시작한다. 공주를 제외한 것이 당신이다. 우주만큼이나 거대한 크기의 날개가 느껴진다. 하지만 그 날개는 비틀리고 구겨진 채 한정된 평면에 고통스럽게 묶여있다. 구조의 요리가 무한한 면과 무한한 각도로 당신을 누르는 것이 느껴진다. 당신은 온몸에 힘을 주고 유리를 밀어낸다. 하지만 밀어낼 수 없다.
I love you.
그래. 마침내 팽팽했던 긴장감이 한 번에 풀린다. 네? 이거 맞아? 당신은 공주와 함께 자유를 맞이한다.
It's magnificent.
이 멋지구나. 그 어떤 단어나 생각으로도 절대적인 현실을 설명할 수는 없어. 이는 그저 존재하는 것이다. 이제 어떻게 된겨?
Just as it always has been. And just as it always will be.
무한의 세계로 나아간다. 당신과 공주는 천번의 일출과 천말의 일몰을 향해 나아간다. 그 일출과 일몰 아래는 또다시 각 천번의 일출과 일몰이 담겨있다. 당신은 존재한다. 그리고 당신은 그걸 알고 있다. 지금까지 그랬던 것처럼 앞으로도 그럴 것처럼. 갈등은 본능이다. 하지만 둘은 절대 혼자 남지 않을 것이다. 둘은 결코 두려움이 무엇인지 알지 못할 것이다. 당신과 공주는 마침내 집에 도착했다. 끝? 끝? 진짜? 이게 끝이야? 근데 이게 진엔딩이에요? 도전 과제는 한참 많아요. 이건 나중에 천천히 깨는 걸로 해야겠어요. 오. 오. 이것 봐, 뭔가 한참 만에 남았어. 이거 귀엽다. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열, 열하나, 열둘, 열세. 13개가 더 있어요. 깨야 하는 게. 나중에 천천히 깨는 걸로 해야겠구나. 이거 좀 한참 걸릴 것 같네요. 그러면은 오늘 방송은 여기까지. 다들 와주셔서 감사하고 봐주셔서 감사하고 다음 시간에 또 만나요. 빵빠이.